Welcome to Whisper in My Ear Challenge. And this is day 5. So we need to clear up any questions that you have. We need to just talk about because this is it. So we want to make sure that as a result of you participating in Whisper in My Ear, that you are in a better place than you were when you started out. And so let's just talk to me. It's gonna be interactive. I'm gonna share with you some things I've gone through, some problems I've had, and we're just gonna make this a day to remember because right now you're excited about your relationship, hopefully, from the things because you've been practicing what you've heard. And so let me ask you a question. How many people are on screen tonight that have been here maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday? If you've been here, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat if this is your first day. This is the Whisper in My Ear Challenge. Okay. And if you are participating, I need to see your face. So please put your cameras on, take yourself off mute, and we want to get started. Anybody there besides me? I'm looking for people because I want you to see me and I want to see you. Whisper in My Ear Challenge, day 5. Okay, we're going to get started. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Okay, my name is Brenda Moorer, and I've been working with Atlanta Couple Therapy for quite a while now. Okay, I came out of retirement, and because I'm just a natural person that want to develop people, I was like, okay, this is calling me. If you hear doorbells, that's just mean it's trick or treat time, okay? And we're going to disregard that. But I just want to spend some time with you and just talk to you. Anybody that's been here, please put a 1 in the chat. Because I want to see who did their homework. As I was communicating with you, I've been working in this field for a very, very long time. And in working in this field, one of the things that I've learned is even though you have been working in the field, it's still things that you need to work on. And so we want to talk about those things that you need to work on because I know I didn't have all the answers in my own life. And that's what I think makes me a good coach because I've made some of the same mistakes that you've made. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about who I am. Like I said, I've worked in this field forever. I started in this field in 1977, okay? I have a master's degree in psychology, and I have worked with agencies, I've worked with individuals, I've also worked with couples. And so I've spent most of my life helping people to be their best self. And so we're going to talk about that because I believe in order for you to be your best self and be the best couple you can be, you have to develop yourself, okay? So if there's anybody that has been here, put a 1 in your chat. Put a 2 in if this is your first time, okay? So let's talk, people. As I was saying, I've been working in this field for a long time, and I am an introvert, surprisingly, but I get so motivated and excited if I get a chance to talk to people to help them to clear up things that may not be clear, help them reframe how they're seeing their lives so that they can live their best life, okay? And again, I believe if you develop yourself and you are committed to changing and to be the best version of yourself, then guess what happens out of that? You can create what you need to create so that you have the relationship with your partner that you have longed for. And so let's talk a little bit about what has happened so far. And I'm going to talk a little bit about day 4, okay? Because in day 4, we talked about Let's have the difficult conversations. And so many of you know what that's all about, having that difficult conversation. Because having that difficult conversation means that because you're not talking, guess what happens? Your partner interprets your feelings and you interpret your partner's feelings because you're not communicating with each other. So the best thing that we can do is just start communicating. Allow ourselves to be vulnerable without fear, okay? And once you're able to do that, then you get a clearer understanding of where your partner is coming from. And so let's talk about some of those things. And of course, if you were here on day 4, you had homework. And if you had homework, is there anybody out there that completed their homework? Okay. If you did not get a chance to complete your homework, some of the things that we were talking about is having those difficult conversations and what makes a conversation. Let me put it like this. If you're having a conversation with someone and they're hearing what you're communicating and you're hearing what they're communicating, then wow, you're knocking it out the park. But most of the case, let's be honest with each other, that's not what happens. I may say something and my partner hears something else. And you may say, how is that possible? It's That's why we have so many arguments among ourselves, because sometimes instead of listening, we're preparing our response. And so we're going to talk about why that's important, because what it does is each day builds on day 5. Okay? And so what I want you to do is just think about how can we create better communication between the two of us, and at that point we are willing to have that conversation that we need to have and talk about those difficult situations. When I'm dealing with couples, one of the things that I always find interesting is whether they're married or they're cohabitating, I try to get back and talk to them about the beginning of the relationship. And you'll be surprised that most of the time we don't talk about our expectations. We know we're in love, we are committed to being in love, but we're not clear on what our needs are. And when you fail to create a foundation, guess what? You keep missing it because you have not came together. When two people come together, they come from different backgrounds all the time, okay? Even if they have the same background, there's so many values that we have that we don't even know that's important to us that we don't always talk about it. And so we keep missing. We're just like two ships, okay? Right in the sea. And we keep missing it and not knowing why. And so it's important to sometimes get a third person in there so that that person can talk to you. Okay? And they can help you to see what your partner does not see and vice versa. And so I'm just asking you, sometimes just maybe you have a friend, maybe you have somebody in your life that you can talk to, because if you keep all of this in and you end up doing what? Counseling yourself and wondering why there's no change. One of the best gifts that you can give yourself is to continue to grow. Continue to have an ear to hear from other people, because that's what improves your relationships. Any questions? If you have a question, put it in the chat. Any questions? So, if we're talking about day 5, and in talking about day 5, and if you've gone through some of the exercises, it leads us to here, a place of identifying what I still like about us. Because lives. And as long as life is lifing, we pay attention to our issues. We have things that we have to accomplish. Sometimes we're working from uh, a listing of the things I got to do, and you get away from feeding the relationship. And so if that's a problem, put put it in the chat, okay? If we are no longer communicating and enjoying each other and we're just making it from day to day, put a 1 in the chat. Anybody is experiencing that where they're just going from day to day and not really enjoying their relationship? If you are failing to enjoy your relationship and you're just trying to make it through the day, because after you get out of work, you got to cook, you got to make sure the kids do the homework. If that's what's happening in your relationship, put a one. Okay. Believe me, having young kids it's a big responsibility. And in it being a big responsibility, sometimes we just need time for the two of us so that we can do what needs to be done in our relationship, so that we can not only concentrate on the kids, but sometimes we need that special time. And if you are failing to spend that special time with each other and you are failing to identify what you like about each other, then sometimes you need help in that, okay? And so, if that's the case, get in contact with Atlanta Couple Therapy. Let's put the telephone number in the chat for Atlanta Couple Therapy, but the number is 404-496-8070. Get in contact with Atlanta Couple Therapy because we have experienced coaches and counselors and therapists who have spent their lives m- helping couples to see their life different, giving them strategies so that they can get on track. And if that's the case, then please give us a call because all of us are great in helping people and sharing. And we just want to make sure that your life is better. We don't want it to take as long as it took for me to get it together. Okay. I've been with my husband 30 years now. I married him 30 years ago, and I'm still learning. I'm still changing. It doesn't stop. As long as you have breath in your lungs, okay? Change, grow. Don't be married to this is just how I am, okay? Because it's not going to get you to the next level. And so, in getting to the next level, you got to first of all learn how to enjoy each other. You remember when you first started out and you were on the phone and you just stayed on the phone all night long. And if you're young, then your parents are telling you go to bed and you sneaking talking on the phone. You remember those days that when you saw your partner, you couldn't stop smiling or you longed for your partner. If that no longer exists in your life, then we need to make some changes. Because I'm going to tell you, being connected, it's hard work to stay married and to stay happy, joyful in your relationship. And there are some things that you can do because you have to connect. You have to enjoy each other. You have to go on dates. You have to touch each other. There's nothing more precious than to be cuddling up with someone that loves you, that you love. If that's not happening in your relationship, then we need to do something different. We need to do something different because we need to identify what puts a smile on my face. If you still feel like you're still smiling when you see your partner, but yet your partner seems to be withdrawn, we can get you back to where you were. In fact, we can do more than that. We can improve your relationship. And so I just want to say to you at this point, get the help that you need, get the support that you need, because we want to make sure that your relationship is productive. We want to create a fertile ground for your relationship to grow. And if you're not communicating, maybe there are things that you need to talk about that you've never talked about. There could be hurt in your relationship that you've never expressed. Sometimes we don't know why we're withdrawn. Some of these issues deal with not necessarily our partner, but we have brought past pain into our relationship. And on some level, we're making our current partner pay. You don't always know what the issues are. And because you don't know what the issues are, then sometimes you just need to get with someone that can help you identify what those issues are. We can always press restart. I press restart, I know for a fact, every week because I realize something about me that I need to change. And I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to live my best life. And the only way I can do that is be vulnerable to my partner, communicate, and do it God's way. And sometimes we don't know what that is. And you just need a third person to come in that can hear from both of you. Any questions? If you have any questions, please put them in the chat now. Any questions that you may have? If there's no questions, any comments? We just want to know that and let you know that we're here to make a difference in your life. Okay? We're here because we believe in creating a new beginning. And in order to create a new beginning, sometimes you need assistance in that. And because you need assistance in that, call Atlanta Couple Therapy. The number again is 404-496-8070. 404-496-8070. Any questions? Erica, is there any questions in the chat? If there's anybody out there that would like some help in changing your relationship, just let me know. Okay, here's the question. How to make time for emotional connection when you have a busy schedule, okay? One of the things that's very, very important in making time, sometimes we realize that we are prioritizing our time in a way that does not support the relationship, okay? And as a result of that, we really do feel like we don't have time. And so, one of the most important things you can do is take charge of your time. Sit down by yourself sometimes and write down, what are your values? What's important? What do you want your relationship to look like? And once you identify that, then you'll be able to see your relationship as a priority. Only then can you reroute and look at your schedule, because and I know this because I have 3 children, okay? And one of the things I know from raising kids is sometimes as a mother, we spend so much time making sure the kids okay. And as a result of making sure the kids are okay, we fail to look at our relationship. And we tell ourselves things like this, you know what? The kids need me. We're adults. We're going to be okay. But we don't realize if the kids are receiving what they need and they see that their parents are not okay, then you're doing more damage. Okay. There's nothing more that provides kids safety, a comfortable home, than to see their parents taking care of themselves. Sometimes I meet with couples, and one of the things that that they say, I've never saw my mom and dad hug. I never saw them kiss. Okay. But guess what? We have Billy in basketball. We have Billy in football. We have Billy in every sport. We have Sally in dance class. We have Sally in soccer. We have our kids in so many activities. But the most important thing that you can do for your kids is spend time with them. You're talking to somebody that have children, grandchildren, and great grandchildren, to the point that I played with my kids. And I know that is unheard of now. But we played, even my grandchildren and my great grandchildren. Do you know I played? red light, green light with them. And those are some of the things that they remember even till today, although they're adults. Okay. Although I'm their grandmother and they have their own kids. Even now, when I go home and it's Christmas or it's Easter, we still play red light, green light. Okay. Because kids need time with you. And this is family. That's what they're going to remember as adults. They're going to remember that you spent time with them. And so, yes, you have a busy schedule, but you can control your schedule. You have to ask yourself, how important is it for my kid to go from football to basketball to baseball, okay, and not spending time with his parents? That's one of the things that we offer as coaches and counselors and therapists. We help you look at your schedule and help you to get some guidance on how you can create time for yourself, for you as a couple. And sometimes that means telling the kids, okay, we're going to bed. We're going to have a schedule. The other piece that helps you to create time for yourself is you can always do things together as a family, chores. Okay, we're going to clean up the kitchen together. Spending time matters. And we have to think about it in non-traditional ways because if we don't, you have put these kids in all these activities. However, you have not put your stamp on your kid because somebody else is raising your kid because they're gone all the time. By the time they get home, okay, they are tired. Sometimes our kids are too tired to even do their homework. But yet, hey, they out there on the football field, they out there on the basketball court. We have to change the way that we see time. And we have to change the way that we see and prioritize time. Any other questions? Any questions? I would love to see the audience. If you could just for just 1 second, okay? Just put the video on. Take it off mute because I really want to make a difference in your life. Maybe you didn't do your homework. Maybe you don't even know what today is supposed to be about. But the most important thing I can give you is communicate to you from experience because I have been in this field, excuse me, for over 40 years. Not only have I learned from an education with a master's in psychology, but I've also learned from my own mistakes and from working with people for over 40 years. Along the way, you learn some things. You learn some things about yourself. One of the things that I had to do in order to change my relationship, I had to change my communication style. Okay, here's a question. How can couples rebuild intimacy if they've grown distant without it being forced? It starts simple, okay? Because one of the things that I tell people, and people are reluctant sometimes, change starts with you. That's the only thing that you can be responsible for. When you start working on you, then the change occurs. And it starts, what happened with me is I made a conscious decision that I was going to change my tone. Okay. And I have to be open and honest with you. As a whole, most Black people that I know, we're very passionate in our communication style. Okay. We can be very intimidating. Because we're so passionate, we feel so strongly. It starts with you changing and think about how you will want somebody to communicate with you and what tone you want to use. And so one of the things is modeling what you want. Okay. Yes, sometimes we have stopped communicating with each other. But one of the things that I realize about communication is that if I become a safe place for my partner to communicate, then he doesn't have to talk to his friends. He don't have to talk to the people at work. I have to change so that he sees that he's in a safe place when he communicates with me. And just pay attention, because when your partner comes in the house from work, okay, that is not the time to sit down and say, you know, this bill due. When you gonna write the check for this? Oh, we got to take care. There's a leak in the roof. No, we have to give each other time to relax and be that safe place. Create that home that your partner want to be. And so it doesn't start with the wife. It doesn't start with the husband. It starts with you as an individual. You as an individual have to make a decision. You know what? I'm going to make this a home. And when I make it home, guess what? The kids, they bring their friends to the house. When it's a home, your partner want to be at home. Okay? And so even though you have not been communicating on the level that you want to communicate with your partner, start with yourself. Share something that you've held in. Something, it could be something from your childhood, it could be something from work, but just start communicating from your perspective. And after a while, your partner will know you're a safe place for him to lay his head. And I'll go back to the scriptures. So many people don't understand about Solomon, okay? They don't, it's not Solomon, but the story where the man was holding up the building, okay? And I'm sorry, I can't remember the details of Samson. That's who it was. It was Samson, okay? And there was a secret, and the Philistines wanted to know what the secret was. And so they made a decision. They went to his partner and basically say, you know, we'll give you all of this if you find out what the secret is, because there's a secret to his strength. And he refused to tell, but eventually he did tell Delilah what the secret was. And when he told Delilah the secret, one of the things that I learned from that story is she provided a safe place, as he thought it was a safe place, for him to lay his head and be comfortable and communicate. And so all of this starts with you, whether you're the male or female, it does not matter. You have to be a safe place. When you make a conscious decision to be a safe place for your partner to talk to you, and then you stretch out on faith and communicate with your partner, it changes the dynamics of the relationship. Okay. And if you decide to contact Atlanta Couple Therapy, okay, we will give you the strategies to move toward an open communication and a fertile ground for communication to take place. Sometimes we cannot do it on our own. And if that's the case, then you need to get in contact with Atlanta Couple Therapy. And I'll tell you what, if you're on tonight, we will give you a 25% discount. 25% discount if you make a decision and call Atlanta Couple Therapy and schedule an appointment, okay? Because we want you to get the help that you need. In the difficulty that we currently live in the United States, it takes two to work together. You are going to find it very challenging to try to work through what's going on in the world by yourself, okay? You're going to need help. And so we got to do something different. You cannot continue to walk and do the same thing every day and expect change. It took me decades, do you hear me? Decades to figure it out. I don't want that to happen to anybody else. Even though I'm a counselor, even though I have experience, when I made a conscious decision to change, it changed our relationship. This is not something I read in a psychology book. This is not something this is from my personal experience. I had to change. And when I look at my husband and I see the changes that he has made, I'm in awe. Because that little sacrifice, those little changes that I made, created a totally different relationship. You can tell when people are happy, genuinely happy, and when they're just tolerating each other. Are you tired of just tolerating each other? Going to counseling, coaching, receiving psychotherapy, whatever you need, okay, to move you to the next level. That's the best investment you can make. Because when you come together as one, guess what? One put 1,000 to flight, two put 10,000 to flight. And so you're not fighting each other any longer. You're working together to fight the enemy that's trying to destroy your relationship. That enemy can be pain from previous relationship. It could be generational curses where your grandmama did it wrong, your mama did it wrong. Now you see yourself doing it wrong, and you're acting in a way that can impact your children doing it wrong. It's time to change. And sometimes we can't do that without getting support from someone else. And so I can't be stronger in telling you the importance of investing that money because it's going to pay off. I have couples that have done amazing things. They have purchased homes, okay? They have remarried after being divorced. They are doing things that they never thought they would do as a result of spending time with me. Their appearance even looks different. Sometimes I take pictures and I show them, I say, you know, this is the way you look when you first started with me. Then I take another picture and say, look at you now. Because the joy of the Lord is your strength. And so when you put down all your weapons and you have an ear to hear, okay, it changes the way that you walk, your whole walk, because it comes from inside. People can tell that you're okay just by looking at you. And I'm going to tell you, that's worth the money that you spend. I'm excited about life because I'm different. I had to submit to God and do it His way. And I'm suggesting you do the same thing. And sometimes, like I said, we just don't know. Our parents didn't know, our grandparents didn't know, our friends don't know. Ask yourself, what am I doing? Who am I spending my time with? And I have to ask myself, are they in the place that I'm headed? Sometimes we're destroying ourselves. And I just want you to know that we are here to help you. We are here to identify what the issue is, what the real issues are, not what you think the issues are. Because I'm going to tell you, most people that comes to coaching or counseling, they come so I can change their partner. Very few people say, you know, if I don't change, I'm going to destroy. No, they come so that I can change their partner, or they come because they're trying to save the relationship because the other partner said, I'm going. If you don't get any help, I'm leaving you. Most of our couples, they come to us for those reasons. Change my partner. And number two, because the partner has said, I'm getting out of here. I'm leaving you. You don't have to be in that situation. You can recognize that there are issues and make a decision. I don't want to spend another year. Okay. I do not want 2025. I do not want 2026 to look like 2025. And the only thing that's going to change that, it starts with you. Any questions before we close out? Another
Hello?
question. Yes.
Hi, Miss Brenda. I have a question, and actually goes back to what you were saying about being intentional with spending time, and you were speaking about we'll get the family together to do it. I
Yes.
just wanted to know, could you I guess like provide some psychology around, like, how do I say this? So as you were talking about how, oh, do you guys still want to like talk to each other all the time, and that feeling that you guys got when you were in your parents, like that feeling, why does it die down even if you're like, even if you're having the healthy conversations and you're doing the things you're supposed to do? Like why does it die down, I guess?
Okay, because When you're in love, first of all, your body releases all kinds of hormones and all that kind of stuff, okay, when you're in love, okay? And you're in touch with all of that, okay? And so sometimes just time with anything else. And you have to know that that's normal. And I'll show you how it's normal. You can buy a new car, okay? After that year or two, now you can have your dream car. But after a while, the newness wears off. Okay. And so, in order to keep that relationship healthy, we have to change and we have to grow. Okay. What made me okay in 2019 is not the same thing that's going to make me okay in 2029. Okay. Because we're growing, we are having experiences. And so, for me, the best thing that you can offer your partner is growth. Okay. You have to spend your time around people that's growing. If you're in a group and you're the smartest person in that group, then it gets in the way of you growing. You have to be around people that's smarter than you, people that are doing things that you want to do, because what it does is it creates an environment for growth and for change.
Mhm.
And so I don't care who you are as a couple, you have to make a conscious decision to get better. Okay. And that goes with everything, not just in the relationship. You want to be smarter, you want to look better. Okay. Sometimes we get away from when we're first dating and stuff. We all remember. I mean, we went out about an outfit for every time we went on a date. Okay. We made sure our hair was done, our nails were done, and we stopped doing that. And that's not just the women, okay? The men went to barber shops, okay? They had their cologne. And so many times in a relationship after that 5 years, the one of the partners, they don't even get dressed up when they go out until they're going out with the boys. Okay? If they're going out with the girls. I change hair like I change clothes. Do you hear me? I may be blonde. If you go up to and look on Atlanta Couple Therapy, I might have short hair. I might have black hair. In the morning when I get up, okay, my hair may be one color. Me and my husband say, okay, he said, I'm gonna get in the car because he likes to be on time. Okay, so he gonna always get in the vehicle before I come down. He has no idea what I'm gonna look like. Because when he left me and he got ready and he went downstairs, I looked one way. But baby, 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 when I got in that car, everything about me was different. What we have to do is we have to be willing to change and to grow. Okay. I love living in 2025 because it gives me the freedom to look any kind of way I want to. I'm going to keep it up. Okay. I'm going to keep it up. And you know why? Because I can and because I want to. I can still look at my husband and be like, you got it going on, babe. Because nobody is going to praise my husband more than me. Nobody. And I'm going to give him what he wants and investing in what I look like. Okay. And sometimes we put that hair rag on, we put that child, you know what we do sometimes, have that sack on. Where when we are dating, when we first got married, we spent money on them gals, some sexy things, and we get away from it. I hope that answers your question, Alexis.
It did. Thank you.
Yes, we have to put forth the effort. Okay. Uh, in my 30th year, I put forth more effort than I did in the beginning. When my husband proposed to me, I had plaits in my hair. And I ain't talking about braids. Okay. They were one going this way, one going this way. But I care what I look like not just for me, but for him. And I put forth the effort. I'm one of these chicks that I'm gonna wear makeup. If my husband say, I don't like women with makeup, guess what my response is? When you met me, I had on makeup, and you looked at me that second time. So you can tell me anything you want to, baby. When we go to the store, you looking at the women that are well dressed and look good. You might not think I notice, but I do. So I know what you like. You can tell me any lie from the pit of hell, but I know. And so I'm going to invest in me. And sooner or later, he see all these men, and he does, because I put forth the effort. I continue to grow. And if they make it and I can pay for it, yeah, I'm doing it. Only thing I will not do at this point is I ain't finna, and I live in Atlanta, and maybe you're from Atlanta. Everybody here got a small waist and a big butt. I'm not finna do that because that's painful. But everything else, oh yes, I'm going to invest in smelling good. I'm going to invest in looking good. Any other questions, Alexis?
No, I'm good. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And I'm actually from Toronto, Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to see you, Alexis. Can you put video on so I can see you?
No, not right now. Sorry.
It's okay. I get it. I get it. Anybody else? Any questions before we close out? Please put your questions in the chat. At least come on audio so that we can answer the questions because I'm here for a purpose. And I want you to know when the counselors and the coaches they get on and they have these events, it's because we're truly invested in you being okay. Because I'm gonna tell you the truth, honey, I could be spending time with my husband and just enjoying him. But I want change for everyone. And the other counselors, they want people to have good, solid relationships. And if we can, whatever, we're sacrificial in doing that. In my sessions, when I work with couples, I show them my wounds. I tell them the truth. You know, I tell people, I used to be a cussing Christian. Sometimes it still slip out. But then one day I realized you don't need to call your husband those names. You know, we're changing. We are human. And we have to make a conscious decision. And it comes with being intentional. When you become intentional about your relationship, it impacts the relationship and it creates change. Any other questions? Erica, you want to put the number in the chat? Again, my name is Brenda Moorer. Okay. I've been working in this field for over 40 years. Okay. And as a result, I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot from my education and just spending time with couples. One of my strength is that I'm very open and non-traditional, okay? I am politically incorrect. I'll tell you that up front, but I'm going to tell you the truth. And I will tell you, if 8 out of 10 people come up with the same thing that I'm coming up with, you're probably guilty of whatever that is, okay? My job is to help you reframe how you see in your life because sometimes, because of how we were raised, and sometimes we made decisions as kids. How many of us made decisions like, hey, ain't no man gonna tell me what to do with my money? So we don't learn how to work with each other. We come from homes sometimes where there were not two parents, so we have never seen what a good, healthy relationship looks like. Good question, Erica. What are your takeaways from this? Have I said anything that moved you to say, maybe I need to look at this in a different way? What are your comments? Please put your comments in the chat. Any takeaways? I like that. Yes. You can't pour from an empty cup.
I think it's Alexis again. I think one of my takeaways from the entire week was really recognizing that there are tools that you need to pull on for a healthy marriage. And like I'm
Mhm.
young in my marriage, I've only been married almost a year next month, and like I don't have all the tools. And so there was like something that was said that me and my husband used this morning, which was putting a timer on to have a conversation and like intentional active listening, and it helped phenomenally. Like it went really, really well, and we were both able to hear each other. So I think it's exciting to know that you have to go out, whether it's seek therapy, seek help from a pastor to get the tools, because the people who have been married for 20, 30 plus years, they probably have walked the same path that you're now about to walk down.
Yes. Yes. And one of the things that happens so often, we don't tell people about the things that we've struggled with. A lot of time, even in the church, you look at a couple and you think that, well, they've been like that their whole lives. And that's not the case because we don't look like what we've been through. Okay. As a result of that, it makes it difficult for young people to want to come to us and tell us their story or tell us what's happening in their relationship. And like I said, that's my strength in talking and being open and saying, these are some of the things that I struggled with in my relationship. These are some of the things me and my husband struggled with. I don't care who you are, there's always a place to grow from. And so we are committed to becoming better and better. Okay. Because we've been together for such a long time now, we know that it requires both of us to work together. We've seen what happens when we don't work together. We've also seen what happens when we're not intentional. So, Alexis, I praise you because intentional is a big thing in making the changes you want in your relationship. Every day I do a things to do, okay? And that's definitely something you need to put on your things to do. I'm going to spend 10 minutes. Sometimes just sending a note to your partner, okay? Sending a text to your partner. Uh, get off Facebook and focus on your relationship sometime in that 5 minutes that you have where you're not doing anything. Because when you change, believe me, your partner will model that. Sometimes we do too much talking and not enough being intentional in our actions. And that's a game changer. Any other questions or comments? Again, just look at our website, Atlanta Couple Therapy. Give us a call at 404-496-8070. And if you're interested in scheduling an appointment, you will get 25% off. And I think, is there a code, Erica, that they need to use to get that 25%? Any questions before we close out? I hope that this has been helpful to you. And if nothing else, okay, if I'm not a person that you feel like that you can relate to, just visit our website, okay? And there's somebody there that can meet your needs because we want change. And we realize that if we change a relationship, then it changes a family, okay? So often when I talk to someone, I get a history from the people that I work with, and you will be surprised. Most of the problems that they're having, it goes back to childhood, things that they've seen, decisions that they've made as children because of a dysfunctional relationship between their parents. There are adults that have never seen a healthy relationship. They have no idea what it looks like. And so there's no money, no amount of money that's worth you destroying your children's life because you're not okay. If you know that you need some help, seek help and get the help that you need because it changes the family. When it changes the family, it changes the community, okay? And it changes our city. All the chaos that's going on in the world now, it dates back. It started a long time ago, and it started in our households that we grew up in, okay? And if we can affect change that changes the life of your children, it's worth it. And I want to speak to individuals too, because you working on yourself, it's going to change the directory of your life. It changes everything about you. And so when you meet that right person, you equip to create a healthy relationship. Okay, if there are no other questions, we're going to give you a minute and then we're going to close out, okay? Alexis, thank you for participating. I appreciate your comments.
Of
Thank
course.
you very